There we go. Isn't it hard being a full-time, wow. Isn't it hard being a full-time student while trying to get your YouTube channel, blah, blah, blah. Isn't it hard to be a full-time student while trying to get your YouTube channel off the ground? I started my YouTube channel about a year after I started grad school, and let me tell you, it was not easy. But as of recently, I've been so much more consistent, and I have like 7 courses, labs, clinic 3 times a week, and midterms to study for, like most students. A lot to do, just really, really busy. But once I kind of figured it out, I implemented these tips that I'm gonna give you guys today in this video that have helped my channel so much and helped me to stay consistent. Hey guys, my name is Simone, this is Simone Says, and welcome back to another video. I think that I wanna give you guys the biggest piece of advice that I can give you guys just right off the bat right now, and that is to find a routine, and not just for your YouTube channel. Start with your school schedule. Once you find a good routine, a good rhythm with school and your self-care, obviously, it makes making videos so much easier, so much smoother, and a lot less time consuming. And as a student, you need as much time as possible. You need to be as time efficient as possible. It is literally the key to success. And I know that a lot of people say that consistency is key to success on YouTube, and it is. But when you're a student, you need to be time efficient because you're trying to balance 2 things that take up a lot of time. Obviously, you gotta study for hours and hours and hours, but editing, filming, all that stuff takes a lot of time as well. And if you do want your channel to grow, you need to be time efficient. But since we do not have time to waste time, let's get into the rest of these tips. So the first piece of advice that I'm gonna give you guys is plan out your videos in advance. I will do this at the end of every month around that time to plan my videos for the following month. And when I say plan, I mean plan everything. This kind of plays into the whole time efficiency thing that I was talking about earlier. But when I sit down to plan out my videos, it's not just the title or like the general concept. I mean everything. I have a template on my Notion. This is where I plan out all my videos. And it has the description, the thumbnail, keywords, title, and I even have a script. Now, I do say script because I've tried filming videos without a script before, and it literally just leads to me babbling and these really, really long clips. I often forget certain things that I wanted to include in the videos. A script just keeps me on track and just know what I'm going to say. And that's what I have over here. But the key with planning out the script is also practice. As you get better with talking to the camera, the efficiency will come with it. So before I even started my YouTube channel, I would definitely film videos that I can, practice talking to the camera, talking to my phone, because I do still film on my phone. And then I would also use that video to practice editing. And at the time I was using iMovie, and I would literally just figure out how to use it. That way, when I did start school, and when I was ready to start my channel, I could be just as time efficient as possible. Now, making the script is really important, but it's okay to go a little bit off script. That's what makes it, true to your personality, but making a script definitely helps a lot. Planning also helps with making sure that like the post-production of the video is on point. I remember in the beginning, I did not understand thumbnails as a whole, and I was taking thumbnail photos. Either I wasn't taking them at all, or I was taking them with the wrong, dimensions. And so my thumbnails in the earlier parts of earlier on in my YouTube channel were very, very, they weren't great because I didn't have a photo that was big enough to fit the thumbnail dimensions. After that, I started to learn how to make my thumbnails. What I would do now is take a photo for the thumbnail before I even started filming. This way I had the lighting, my makeup was still pretty good, so I would have the best quality thumbnail possible. See, I'm looking at my script. But I also do film vlogs as well. There's tons of vlogs on my channel. And what I do for that is I'll go through my footage and I'll take screen captures from the vlog where I'm smiling or where there's a really good pose or something that really fits, because I feel like that's a little bit more representative of what the vlog is actually about, rather than me sitting here and smiling for a thumbnail for a vlog. Does that make sense? And then I've gotten so good at making thumbnails. I currently use Lightroom to edit up the whole exposure, the saturation, all that kind of stuff, and the detail, because I film with my phone. It's not as good detail as if I was using an actual camera. So the detail feature on Lightroom, I'll probably try and put something right here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. The detail feature on Lightroom is really, really good to use. I also learned how to blend photos, blur. I don't know how to explain it. My last 2 thumbnails before this video have a blurred-ish kind of look to them. I'll post them on the screen here so you guys can see what I'm talking about. I started using Snapseed for that. To cut yourself out in a photo, I will use either Preview on my MacBook, or I will use Picsart on my phone. And then I also obviously use Canva like anybody else to make my thumbnails. I'll make sure to leave a link down below so that you guys can check out those apps if you're interested in any of the features that I talked about today while making your thumbnail. But don't forget that the orientation for your thumbnail is 16:9, not 4:3, which is like the automatic setting for photos on like the iPhone. So make sure you like swipe up, change it to 16:9, and take your photos that way for thumbnail on like the landscape option, not portrait. And you'll be good to go. So my next tip is, while you're planning out your whole entire schedule for your YouTube videos, make sure you incorporate them into your study schedule. So that's why I said that it's really important that you create a routine for yourself when it comes to school and self-care. That way YouTube is like that third thing that you put in there and plan it all out that way. So I use Todoist to make my study schedules. I've talked about them so many times before. And I will literally put in what days I'm gonna film, what days I'm gonna edit, what time, and what days I'm gonna upload, because that is a whole process in itself, getting the video to upload. Preferably, how do you guys say it? Preferably or preferably? Anyways, before the day that I want the video to go live, I will try and have it uploaded already ready to go and scheduled. That way I don't have to deal with any processing issues, because since I'm filming on my phone, I think that's the reason why my videos can come out very grainy if I'm trying to upload it only hours before I want it to go live. So uploading it the night before ensures that I can get that HD 4K quality from the minute it goes live. Writing it in my schedule reassures me that I actually have the time for it. There's so many times where I used to literally tell myself that I want to film a video on a certain day, but then I have like 6 lectures that I want to review, 2 midterms I'm trying to study for, and then I have like lab that same day, and I'm trying to tell myself that I'm going to also film that day. Where's the time? And that's when I obviously won't film the video, and there's another week of me not posting again. So putting it on a specific day just shows me that I have time for it and that I can actually film. And because a lot of the time I'm filming when it's day outside, because I don't like filming at night, because I don't have a good enough camera to pick up a good visual at night, I have to film during the day. So that is time away from me studying, but the way I plan out my day, it makes it okay for me to film rather than study at like 2 o'clock in the middle of the day. Now, my third tip would definitely be to make realistic goals. I talk about making goals all the time, but it's very, very, very important that you make them realistic. I made the goal last year that I wanted to hit 1,000 subscribers before the end of that year, and I did not hit it. But once I realized that I wasn't gonna hit the goal, I kind of readjusted my perspective and I made a new goal. So basically, instead of trying to focus on wanting to get 1,000 subscribers, which is something that's really not in my own hands. I don't have everyone else's computer and like making them hit the subscribe button, which, you know, if you're liking the video so far, make sure you subscribe and make sure you turn on those post notifications, leave a like, leave a comment, let me know. But what I could focus on is something that I can do to ensure that I'm contributing to the larger goal of getting to 1,000 subscribers. I'm a little bit of a control freak, so this made a lot more sense. So at the time, my new goal was to make sure that I posted at least 1 YouTube video a week, no matter what. And that is kind of where the whole planning and incorporating it into my study schedule came in. It helped me to ensure that my video was going up every single Thursday at 1 p.m. Sometimes Friday, but at least there was a video every single week. But it really just comes down to making time for it and showing myself that I have time for it. Not gonna lie, there has been a lot of sleepless nights where I go to clinic with like 4 hours of sleep because I was up editing a video, because I was so determined to get that video up on that day, or at least the day after. This was the goal that I set for myself, so it's kind of like me making a promise to show up for myself. My arm is gonna fall off. Ugh. The way that I thought about it was my consistency in uploading a video every single week will lead to me, you know, gaining more subscribers, because the more videos that I put out, the more chances I have of people actually finding my videos, and then the higher the chances of them subscribing. But I can't force somebody to subscribe to my channel. I can only make quality videos. I can only be consistent. There's only so much that I can do, and those are the things that I like to focus on. You don't need anything fancy to grow. That's tip number 4. My first video, I sat where I started this video. And I just picked a time during the day where I knew that the sun would not only be there, but be there long enough for me to film the entire video. And if you know, you know, filming on your phone is not exactly the most ideal when it comes to storage, but I just made sure that I had enough storage before I started filming. And when I started my YouTube channel, I had an iPhone 6. I also made sure that the quality of my iPhone 6 or 7 at the time, I don't quite remember, but I made sure that it was at the highest like setting possible. And I believe it was 4K at 60 seconds or whatever the iPhone 6 or 7 was going up to at that time, although it does take up so much more storage, so be mindful of that. Now, this is a bonus tip, and it's such a simple thing that I didn't quite get at the very beginning. Your quality would be so much better if you just wiped off your camera. And they may look clean, but I'm telling you, wipe it off and refilm that clip. it will look so much better. When I first started my channel, I didn't have a tripod. I didn't have, where is the other one? My little handheld tripod, which is actually from Five Below. I didn't have crazy lighting. I didn't really have anything but my phone and iMovie. And so I just put my phone on the ledge of my window and I hit record. You hear all the time so many YouTubers talking about how you guys are propped up on 2 textbooks, or you guys are propped up on the window ledge, or you guys are propped up on a candle. They do it, so why can't you? It's so easy to just prop your camera up literally anywhere and start filming. My setups are very simple, and I even use my lamps as extra lighting. You can record whatever you want. That's tip number 5. I would say that the only thing is make sure that it's something that you're interested in, one, and make sure that it's quality, 2. This will take a little bit of patience, because if you're making a bunch of videos on a whole bunch of different topics because you're trying to find your niche, people might get a little confused about what kind of content they should expect from your channel and may not subscribe to your channel as fast as they would to somebody else's channel that has a specific niche. But this is something that I was actually okay with, because I wanted to create content that would build a community that was, you know, really liking the videos that I was creating, really liking the content that I was putting out there. I feel like the audience retention for those videos is so much better. And the audience retention is basically when you look at how long people are watching your videos on average. When I do vlogs, my retention is a lot higher. I'm not focused on getting a lot of views, although a lot of views would be great, and that's obviously what everyone wants. But I'm also really focused on the audience retention. I want a lot of people watching my videos all the way through, or as far as possible through the video, because although the main goal is to get to 1,000 subscribers, I want those subscribers to be invested in my channel or whatever I post or whatever content I create. I love making vlogs, I love filming them, I love editing them, but they're not exactly searchable because no one knows who I am, so no one really cares and no one's really searching up my name. But there are ways to make vlogs a little bit more searchable when using like different keywords that you know are gonna do well or you know are gonna be trendy. But another reason why I do vlogs is because I'm not gonna be a student for forever. I'm not. I'm going to graduate at some point, and if my whole entire audience from the time I start my channel to the time that I graduate is only people that are looking for tips on how to do well in optometry school, or how I went through optometry school, or my journey through optometry school, once I stop filming about optometry school, they're not going to want to watch my videos anymore. So I'm kind of in a way planning for the future by making sure that the content that I have now is building the audience that I want. Building a community. So all that talk about audience retention, views, all that kind of stuff kind of brings me to tip number 6. Pay attention to your analytics. This will help you so much with figuring out what kinds of videos you should keep making, what kinds of videos your audience doesn't really like to see from you, and what's working and what's not. The analytics that I pay attention to the most would be CTR, audience retention, and traffic source. I don't pay attention to views because, once again, I'm a small channel, so the likelihood of me getting a ton of views is not really high. I feel like that I can do so much more to help with those 3 analytics rather than focusing on getting more views. So for the audience retention rate, this is basically where I will sit down about 2 days after my video goes live, because that's when the information is ready to go. I will sit down and I will rewatch my video through the audience retention rate like analytic page, and I will see where there are spikes, where there are plateaus, where there are drops, because I want to know what topics are people watching all the way through, the plateaus. What things are people like really trying to get to, the spikes, and what things that people didn't really like too much, the dips. And I literally have a running list of all the things that people like to see in my vlogs, and I try to incorporate more of those things. For example, the vlog that I just posted, there was a huge jump. I've never seen a jump like this in my videos before. A huge jump at a specific time. And when I went to that time to watch it, it was my car jamming session where I was literally just like singing my heart out, which I never do. I've never done in a video. So it's very interesting to see. But the plateaus really tell me like people are interested in this topic. So if I sit down and I talk about this one particular thing and that entire time it's a flat line, that tells me that people are really interested in this topic, or hearing me do this, talk about this one thing, or watching me do this one thing. Click-through rate, CTR, this one helps me to understand whether or not my thumbnails are good. I try to aim for about 4%, 3%, somewhere around there. Once again, I'm choosing something that I can control. So how good my thumbnails are kind of flows into how much views I get. Click-through rate is basically the percentage of time that people click on your videos from seeing the thumbnail for every time that YouTube basically promotes your video. This person is so loud. Traffic source type is another one of my favorite analytics to look at because it kind of tells me what keywords are really doing well for my channel. So I know that grad school vlog, I know that optometry school, I know that optometry, those kinds of keywords do well for my channel. And when I start to see an increase in my videos being suggested with YouTube search. I know that that's what my keywords are doing for me. So when you're doing vlogs, try to find something that makes them a little bit more searchable. I know that grad school vlogs are searchable, so that's why all of my grad school vlogs are literally labeled grad school vlog episode whatever. I put the episode number, that way you know there's a bunch of other videos. If you just came across that one video, there's a lot more. You can also always do something that's trending, so like morning routines, night routines, school routines, grocery hauls, Trader Joe hauls, shop with me's, things like that that you know are always going to be trendy, because that helps your vlogs to be searchable. Okay, so now we are on speed round and I'm on to tip number 7, and that is to do a little bit of research, just a little bit, before you start your channel. There's tons of videos on YouTube of how to do YouTube. If you watch a little bit on how to read your analytics, if you watch a little bit on how to make thumbnails a lot better, these are things that can only help you. They're not gonna hurt you. And you can start off with someone like Cathrine Manning or Erin on Demand. Both very, very great YouTubers with tons of tips. Tip number 8 is you can literally edit without paying for anything. So many apps are free, and there is usually like a free option. Use that. There's so much that you can do with it, and there's so many ways that you can figure out how to do what you want to do the free way. One time my laptop wasn't even working. I had to send it in for repairs, and I literally was using iMovie on my iPhone to edit an entire video, and it came out just fine. There are also so many other video editing apps like Video Leap, InShot, whatever. They all work. I do use InShot and it actually does work pretty well. Tip number 9, take a few extra minutes to make a good thumbnail. Take a good photo, make sure that it's quality, wipe off your camera, set it all up. Think about it beforehand. If you have to literally describe it in words, which is something that I do, so that you know once you are ready to start filming that day, what your thumbnail is going to look like. It just helps the process. It just gives you a better thumbnail in the end. Tip number 10, and this might be the most important tip of all, you need to be patient with your channel, with yourself. You are a student. School obviously comes first. You're not always going to have time. There are going to be times where you're going to have to skip a week. And even with me being consistent for the last like 2 months, there has been times where I had to push off a video or skip a week, and it's okay. Although it doesn't feel like it at the time, it is okay. You can always pick it back up the following week. So if you made it this far in the video, I really do appreciate it. I'm gonna give you guys 2 more bonus tips. This is kind of like a memory aid for how I remember which side the memory card is on. So on YouTube, the iCard pops up on the right side of the screen, but you can't point like this. You have to point like this. Because everything is flipped, this is kind of how I remember it. Left hand is the right side for my iCard. And lastly, this is the last bonus tip. Don't forget to promote your videos everywhere. Snapchat, Instagram, WhatsApp, Facebook, whatever it's called now. Promote it everywhere. No one's gonna know about your videos unless you tell them about it. You need to be your biggest supporter. But those are all the tips that I have for you guys. If you made it this far in the video, thank you so much for watching all the way through. I really do appreciate it. And until next time, guys, stay hydrated, stay motivated, and mind your business. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.